word we say. Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm at Productronica 2013 in Munich, and I'm joined by Francois Amblad, who is from VI Technology. Francois, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I think
Hello,
last
Philip.
time we talked, we were in China, and you were excited about a new product that you were going to be launching here. Have you done it? And what's the response been like?
Yeah, we're very excited because we're celebrating our 20-year anniversary, and we're celebrating our 20-year anniversary with the most innovative product introduction in the company's history, which is a new solder paste inspection system that we've named PI for paste inspection, and is being exhibited at Productronica for the first time. It's a product that we've been developing for the last 4 years. We've had 45 PhD and engineers working on this system, and we're now bringing it to market, so it's a very exciting time.
It absolutely is. So all those engineers, all that time, a lot of investment gone into it. Has the response reflected the amount of work you put into the product?
Yeah, the response has been great so far. We're in the middle of the show, but the response has been very good. We've sold machines in Europe, in Americas, and we're also running many evaluations in Europe currently.
Okay, so you have installations in customers that have bought machines, but also beta size. What benefit are they getting from this system over previous systems or other systems available in the market?
So the solder paste inspection market is a very well-served market today with players that have been doing solder paste inspection for many years. We set out to develop a new concept in solder paste inspection. One, there's a machine that would be totally automatic to program, where the inspection quality would not depend on the quality of the programmer. That's very important for both our Asian customers and our European customers. So that's the first salient point about the machine. And the second one is a system that uses 32 cameras, 8 projectors, to deliver full 3D and 5D images of the entire board. So at the end of the day, the machine delivers a machine just like the one you would have on a binocular, with the 3D information on top of that.
Okay, and what does that mean to me in terms of managing my production line? Does it mean I've got more visibility to take corrective action in terms of the way I'm dispensing paste? Does it mean greater throughput? What's going to make me desperately want to buy one?
Well, what's going to make you desperately want to buy one, but I don't know that you're a buyer, Philip. What would make you want to buy one is the fact that solder paste inspection is important, because the print process is a very important part of the process. And solder paste inspection today gives you a lot of information about the height and the volume of your paste. What we're providing in addition to this information is actually a visualization of your print process. Okay. So if there is anything going wrong in the print process, you will visually be able to see that, and it's very useful for process engineers in NPI for bringing up the new process, and also in production for controlling it. Okay,
and in terms of that information, that data, we're hearing a lot about the way data is used, and particularly in Germany, they're talking about Industry 4.0 or 4.0, these connected lines, these cyber-connected production lines that are communicating with each other. How important is it for you in that solder paste inspection position to be able to communicate in both directions, up and down the line, and eventually up to the MES system?
Inspection system produce a lot of data. An inspection system, an SPI, for example, would produce almost as much data as a small bank in one day of production. And so what customers want is not data, they want information about their process. So being able to transform data into process knowledge and actionable events that they can do on their production is what customers are looking for. So in addition to our SPI and AOI system, we have developed a software suite that we call SigmaLink, which is the missing link to transform data into useful process information.
Okay, so they can convert that into information that will make them more efficient, better quality, reduce waste, all those different things.
Yeah, I mean, a typical example is you have tolerances that you've put on your SPI, and then suddenly you discover in your AOI that you have a defect where you were within the acceptable bounds of the process tolerances you had put. And that's a problem, because that means that your outgoing quality will be affected, and therefore you would feed that back to the SPI machine, and the tolerances would be automatically modified to take that into account. That's just one example.
Yeah, so that would give us that benefit. And let's talk a little bit about markets. The machine you've developed, and you talked about the ease of operation, that's clearly important in markets that have high labor churn, have perhaps less time to train less skilled labor. So those are key issues perhaps in Asia, but perhaps also in Central and South America. What markets do you see this product taking off in, or is it very much a global solution? And if it is global, how do you support it throughout the planet?
So today we have sold 3,000 inspection systems in 35 countries. So we have a global support organization to satisfy customers worldwide. Having a machine that is automatic to program is a universal need. It's universal in Asia, as you mentioned, for the very high employee turnover that you have, but is also mandatory in Europe today, where we're trying to have more and more efficient plants with less and less people in the plant, and people don't have time to be trained on all the equipment in the line. So we feel that product is targeted both at the European market, the American market, and also the Asian market as well.
So pretty much global, and you already have the support structure to underpin that. And what trends are you seeing in those markets in terms? I think this year in Europe's been a bit odd. It started well, it kind of had a little bit of a stalling in the middle of the year. People seem reasonably confident in their last quarter. What are you seeing here, and which markets outside of Europe are exciting you at the moment?
We generate a very big part of our business outside of France, because we export 97% of our revenues. A big part of our revenues come out of China, and Europe and Americas represent roughly about 50% of our revenues. In the last 2 years, we've seen the European market and to some extent the North American market to be quite stable, with not really very much growth. And in Asia, we've seen continued growth in China.
Yeah. And do you see that continuing, or do you think there's a little bit of a shift happening? We seem to be seeing a bit more growth at the moment in Mexico, for example, and maybe a little bit less in China. Is that something that's reflected in your feedback?
We see actually more activity coming up, but it hasn't come up yet, in North America, including Mexico, and in Europe. But what we've seen in 2013 is still a very strong activity in Asia.
Yeah, but a growing number of inquiries coming from the other regions,
yes,
which is interesting. Sounds like a great product. Congratulations with the launch.
Thank you.
I hope the show continues to be good for you, and I hope we can speak again soon. Thank you very much,
Thank
Francois.
you, Philip.